up, my people? In this video, we're going to be learning one more thing to do with exponents, and that's power to a power. But before we do that, let's do a quick recap. We did a to the m times a to the n equals a to the m plus n. By the way, this one came from right here. And then we did a to the m divided by a to the n. That came from right there. And then also the other one we did is if we have a negative exponent, we have to drop it to the bottom of the fraction. That's this one right here. Okay. Today, in this video, we're going to be working with this one. And pretty much all that is saying is if we have something raised, let's not use a number yet. If I have x cubed, let's say I have x cubed squared. What this really means is that I have x cubed times x cubed, which is x to the 6. Because remember, we add these. So in other words, instead of having to write it out like this, we can just multiply those, right? So let's say I had x squared to the 5th. That's the same thing as saying x squared 5 times. 3, 4, 5. And remember, when we're multiplying from up here, we add all these together. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's going to be x to the 10. That's that one. Okay? So instead of having to write all of these out like this, all we do is actually multiply those. All right, so that's the basis of what we're getting ready to do. Let's actually do some math problems. So let's look at this one. Let's look at the first one. R cubed cubed. So that means I'm going to do r to the 3 times 3. And that's r to the 9. Because some of y'all be talking about my handwriting. So that's r to the 9. That's simple. Multiply 3 times 3. Now, on this next question, you have to realize and remember that 2m squared is the same thing as saying 2 times m squared. Okay? Now, what you have to do here is you have to be careful and don't mess this part up, because students sometimes forget this step. When this is cubed on the outside, everything gets a cubed. Equals 2 cubed times m squared cubed. Everything gets a cubed. Okay? So 2 cubed is 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. And this becomes m to the 6. That's this final answer. So this cubed right here has to go to the number and it has to go to the variable. Don't forget to do it to the number. Okay, let's look at another one. OMG, we have this negative thing here, right? So remember that this is just like saying x to the negative 3 times y to the 2, and that's raised to the negative 1. We have to distribute this negative 1 to here. So this equals x. Now, negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. And then I got to do negative 1 times 2 is going to be negative 2. But darn it, we can't have negative exponents. So what that means is, like we were talking about in class, if you're negative being upstairs, move downstairs. So your final answer is going to be x cubed over y squared. That's your final answer for that. Okay? Let's do this one right here. Oh, woo. So this is equivalent to saying 3 times x to the 4 times y cubed. And we have this 4 on the outside. So this has to be raised to the 4th. This has to be times 4. This has to be times 4. Because this 4 went here, there, and there. Okay? 3 to the 4th power. Well, 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3 is 27. Times 3 is 81. And then this becomes x to the 4 times 4 is 16. Y to the 3 times 4 is 12. Okay? All right. Let's do another one like that because I feel like we should do another one. Let's do 2x cubed y fifth cubed. Y'all go ahead and work that one out and tell me what you think it is. Pause the video right now and try this one. Okay, now that you've had the chance to try it, we got a 3 here, times 3 here, times 3 there. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, so 2 cubed is 8. That takes care of that part. X, and then 3 times 3 is 9. Y, 15. Because remember, we had to separate that. That's 5y. Sorry about that. And then we distributed this 3 to this, this. Okay? Now this one, we got to add a little bit of a razzle dazzle. Okay? So now what you're going to do is, we know how to multiply that stuff. That's great, but we have to take care of this exponent thing first. So this 3, I'm not going to break it down like I did all the way up there. I'm going to do this 3 to this 2. And so that makes that 2 cubed times u to the 6. I'll multiply that. And then all I'm going to do is finish writing this out. Okay? So I did this 3 to the 2, which is right here. And I did u to the 2 times 3, that's 6. And now I add and I do my, my numbers as normal, okay? So 2 times 3, sorry, not 2 times 3. 2 cubed is 8. And then I have this 8 times this 2 right here. That's going to give me 16. And then I have this u to the 6 and this u squared. That's going to give me u to the 8. And then I have v to the 4. And that's the final answer. So it's not a lot. I got to know how to do is multiply and add. All right, let's look at this one. Ooh, OMG. What am I going to do with this one? I think this is the last question, by the way. So I'm going to distribute this 2 in here. That becomes x to the negative 6 times x to the negative 2, which equals x to the negative 8. And because this is negative, that has to drop down. Okay? You could have done that too. Or let's say you wanted to get rid of the negatives because you don't really like adding negatives first. You could have done that also. You could have done this first, put this over 1. And then you could have made this x drop. You could have made this x drop. And now I just have 1. And then you would have added those to that. Okay? So this video covers just about everything you need to know for power to a power. When you have the number in front, don't forget to distribute it to the number and make sure the exponent that's being raised gets distributed to everything. Okay? And that's it for right now. And if you have any questions, I'll see you later in class.